This is Kenneth Jonah here with another video tutorial on how to implement M-Pesa integration using PHP. In my previous video, we've done implementing M-Pesa integration using Python. So today is a different programming language that we're going to look. This is PHP. PHP is a backend programming language for most of the web servers out there. So I hope that you will learn throughout the video. So please, I hope that you subscribe, like, and share the video. So we are having two files, just like in the Python video that I shared with you. We had two files, that is STK push and the other file for access token. So for the access token file, we are generating the access token, and for the STK push, we are using the access token to conduct or to initiate an STK push. So I'm going to take you through the video step by step, and we are going to see how we can do this. And by the way, I'm running the program on VS Code, which is a great editing environment. So here are the files. One is the access token file, and the other one is the STK push file, just like I've said before. So for the access token file, there are a variety of variables and different functions that we are going to run here that will enable us run or get the access token, which is just an encoded response that we use. It gives access to our client. Our client being the API, to access specific functionalities from the server. So maybe just to inform you that PHP uses client URL call requests to do its online or server communication. So here we are starting the program with a phone number. We are converting the phone number into an integer value using the int val function, which is an inbuilt function that enables us to convert the phone number into an integer. As you understand that maybe in your program, in majority of the entry forms, values are taken as strings, but here we need to have the values in the integer form. So that's why we are converting it into an integer and concatenating it by concatenating, I mean we are just merging the two values. We are concatenating the country code and the phone number to give us a value that we desire, and the value we will pass it into the variable that is below the phone number. Okay, we are also having a variety of credentials or the details that are provided in the details. These details are provided in Safaricom Developers Portal. We have the default time zone, that is the time zone depending on your location. I'm using Africa Nairobi, just to be specific with the time. Here we are having consumer key, consumer secret. We have the business code. This is a mock business code. Remember, we are on a sandbox environment, so all these shall be provided on the M-Pesa Daraja API. So just register and you will find all these details. We are using the endpoint with the grant type of client credentials to generate the STK push. That is the endpoint that we are calling. Then we are passing the phone number as a variable. We are passing it into that phone number has been formatted. That's why we are passing it here as a variable. Then amount is one you can just feed in any amount as you need. Remember that the amount will be refunded to you, so it is refundable. Don't be scared that your amount will just go to waste. No, the money will be refunded back to you. So the callback URL is the URL where all the M-Pesa response will be sent to. So it is a URL where you will get to access all your M-Pesa response. You can format the response and have it stored in your choice of database of your choice. So then we have timestamp. We format the date provided up there. Then we having password. Now here is where the main data transfer takes place. We are using client URL. As I told you, client URL is just a terminal tool, a command line tool. That's the best one to use. It's a command line tool that enables us to communicate with the servers using various protocols. It can be HTTP, it can be HTTPS, TFP, any of the protocols that you know. It is just like requests in Python, even though request is limited compared to client URL. So we are starting by initializing the call, which takes in the URL token URL, that the endpoint, the endpoint of the server that you're communicating with. So it takes in the URL and other variables, taking the headers. We set return transfer to true to get the response, and we set the using call setup, we set the headers to false. Then we format the result, which is a JSON object. Let me put it as a PHP object. We try and decode it. The response is in JSON form, but we want it in a form that is more readable to human beings. So then we are echoing it. Echo is like print in Python. So I'll be comparing these programming languages. The access token is generated. We format it using JSON decode to give us a result that is more readable. So I have two files, by the way. I'm running two files. And I'm running on two platforms. One is on VS Code, and the other platform is on cPanel, which is a client's dashboard where anyone using WordPress or majority of the hosting companies use cPanel. From cPanel, you can get file manager from which you can use to edit your files. You can use to manage the documents that you are using. So here we go. So I've opened the cPanel file manager. I've gone to the file named access token. By the way, this file that you're seeing here, it has the same details that are on the previous file that I've shown you in VS Code. So this is just a different editing environment, and it's quite primitive, so comparing to VS Code. So I have all the files with me here. You can just add a new file and you can run your PHP files from this point. So if you're having a website that has been hosted somewhere, you can use the cPanel to run your PHP files. So I'm having all the files here. So the two files that I have in VS Code are the two files that I'm having here. I'll be running them. So we will be using var dump and echo to display the contents of the response. Good. So I want us to reload the file. So we are running the server on our Chrome browser. So I'm going to refresh the file. So let me look for the file. Here it is. So I'm going to refresh the file, which it runs on my server, which is my hosted URL, that is project.mymarket.co.ke. access point.php. So we are running the file once again. As you can see, it has generated some response. The first response is a PHP object. For those who have not interacted with PHP, I can advise you to go and read more on PHP, arrays, JSON. So that's why we are using var dump. Var dump or dumping the response, it gives you more details of the type of response that you're having. No, rather than just echoing or using print in Python, using var dump, it enables you, it gives you more details about the response that you're getting. So here we are getting JSON response, and we are decoding it so that we can get a PHP object. So as you can see, the farthest response, the farthest result, these are two results. The farthest result is the actual access token, which is more readable. We can access it and use it in different files. Excuse me. So we are using the key to generate the value. If you've interacted with the dictionaries, you understand that all the values are assigned a specific key which is unique to that value. So if you call that key, it will if you call that key, it will give you the actual value. Good. So here's the file once again. So you can try. I have the program in my GitHub account. You can just pick it, run it, change the credentials, run it, and you can share with me the results that you're getting. So that's how you generate the SDK. No, not the SDK. That's how you generate the access token. So we are going into the next file. The next file is the SDK push. Now this is where the actual action takes place. This is the SDK push file. So I'm just going to show you the SDK push file in VS Code, which looks a bit neater compared to the cPanel platform. So this is the SDK push where we are going to we're going to communicate with our server using the endpoints to send an SDK push to the phone number that we provide here. Just a reminder that all the code, all the programs, all the variables that are here are in the other files. So as you can see, we are starting with include access token.php, which is our previous file. Include in PHP is like I can compare it to import in Python. So the way you import files, programs, packages in Python, in PHP we use include to import the same. So I've imported all the variables that are in access token, all the functions, all the libraries and modules. I've imported them into this file. So as you can as well have all this code in one file. It is your choice. You can have them in one file, so there will be no need of using include. You can decide to have all this code in one file. So as you can see here, we are running an online. Just a minute. There's a variable that I'm looking. It should be here. There's a variable that is storing our endpoint, responsible for generating or for sending an access token. I think it is. I forgot to paste it here. So I think it is here. As you can see, like I've told you, all the file, all this code, you should be able to find it there. So this is the variable that I'm telling you, the online payment. I've just assigned it that name, but it is a URL, an endpoint that we are using to access to communicate to the server to send the SDK push. So this is the actual file here. We've included the access token. So all the functions, all the variables have been imported here. So if you're not seeing the variable in this file, the variable is available in the included file. So we are passing in the endpoint here, online payment. We are passing it here. So after passing in the variable, which is our endpoint, like I have told you, we pass in the credentials. We call it post data. It's an array of values of variables, which include business code, which include timestamp, password, all these variables that we are sending to our, we are going to send these variables to our endpoint. So that is it. We have all the variables there. Then we will we are going to, so the variables are just simple to understand. You can go through the documentation in the Daraja API. They will explain, they will give you a mock sample of the variables that and how it should be done. Here we are having the actual call response or the call initiation. So we are sending the data, which is call post data, to the endpoint, and then we are going to echo the response. You can as well decide to do a var dump. Let's see, you can also decide to do, let's refresh the page. We are getting an error somewhere. There's an error somewhere. Maybe it is the var dump that I'm using, but I wanted to show you that var dump gives you more details than just echoing. I hope my English is right. Echoing, yeah, you can use var dump. So we are getting some errors there. I don't know the problem. Let's save and try to refresh. Wow, it's giving an response. So here we go again. Yeah, we've generated the access token. Now let's see if we'll be able to send an SDK push. Just a minute. Let's undo and save the changes and try if the SDK push will be sent. We have removed echo and var dump. Let's see if the SDK will be sent. Just a minute. Yeah, let's refresh. We're still getting an error. I don't think there's a problem with my program. Let's refresh once again. It's telling me an invalid access. Let's see what's the problem with the access token. Let's redo, save the changes, and we're going to refresh the file. As you can, let's refresh that file. No. So yeah, as you can see, we are getting a response there. We are just going to leave it like that. And I was trying to remove the first part, but we are getting an error. Let's just leave it like that. So the first part is the access token response, which is generated from the previous file, and the second part of the response is a success request. As you can see, the response code is 0, and it's telling you that request has been accepted for processing. And in my phone, I've received an SDK push requesting me to enter my M-Pesa pin to run. So that is how you run your SDK push using PHP. That's how you do it. So I hope you can follow the program. So by the way, I'm getting an error trying to run. Maybe you're wondering, why is this guy using two platforms to run the same program? I'm getting an error while trying to run the same program on VS Code. I'm going to run the program, and I will show you the type of error that I'm using. I'm getting sorry. So when you run the program on VS Code, it is telling me fatal error, uncaught error, code to undefined function. So it is telling me that call initialize is an undefined function here. So it means that call has not been installed into PHP. So but when I run the program on my terminal, on my command prompt, I'm getting, it tells me that the call has been installed into my PC, but I don't know why it is not running in my PHP. When trying to integrate it with PHP, it's giving me an error. That's why I've decided to use the other platform, which runs smoothly. Let me open command prompt here so that I can show you what I'm saying. So if I type here